Welcome everyone to round 2 of Thursday, January 15th, Star Wars Unlimited Locals Night over at Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. If you guys are looking for a place to play some Star Wars Unlimited, check out Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. Thursday nights, 6 p.m., $5 entry. And it is round 2. We got some fun for you all. We got Tarkin Red versus Boba Shadow Yellow. Now, funny enough, in the last video, I talked about Tarkin Red with officials. This is not officials Tarkin Red. This is just a Tarkin Red strategy. You're just playing a bunch of Imperials, buffing them up with Tarkin's effect, and basically beating your opponent in the face. And of course, Boba Shadow Yellow is all about keywords. You want to play units with keywords. Ambush, Sentinel, Plot, anything like that. If it has a keyword, you want to play with it. Because on Boba's effect is when you play a keyword, you can tap him and then you give a unit a +2 plus power for that attack. So basically, you play like an ambush keyword, and then you can tap it to give an additional power to it, or you play something like that. So anytime you play a keyword, you tap it to give it a power to an addition to another unit. And then you flip over on 6 or 5, I can't remember, and then do the exact same thing on attack if you played a keyword. If you have a keyword unit out, give another unit a plus. So it's a really nice ability where you just play all these units with keywords, and then you just go ham with it. This deck actually saw some meta relevancy back when we were in the GTO meta, when Django was still legal. Django had no real way to beat this strategy, because Django was all about your bodies need to be on the board. You know what this strategy utilizes a lot of? Ambushers. Ambush, 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 ambush. So a lot of their units were coming in, ambushing out of their hand and beating into Django's units. So meaning that Django never got to really go off on his effect. It was a way to counteract that meta before Fantasy Flight Games just went and put Django on the restricted list, and we don't have to worry about him anymore. Tarkin, on the other hand, is a tap 1, pay 1, tap him. You may then give an experience token to an Imperial unit. Has to have the Imperial keyword tag. And then he flips on 6, and then on attack you may give another Imperial unit besides himself an experience token. So basically your whole gimmick is you're just powering up your Imperial units. So without further ado, let's jump into game number 1. Here we go, folks. Both our players have fully resourced. We're just showing off our lead the leader on the backside. We're going to go roll a chance cube and all that. So Boba is going to go first. They get the chance cube. We're going to go for a Bail Organa. On attack, you may discard 1 card for your hand, and then if you do, create a spy token. We're going to pay 1 for the Hoth Trooper, and that is from the Battle of Hoth series, and then we're going to tap the Tarkin to give it a +1/+1 counter onto it, because it only costed us 1, so that gives us another experience token to put down. So really nice there. As both our players now go into putting 1 resource into their resource area. We're going to pay for the 3. We're going to put out a good old oh my gosh, I'm forgetting that, guys. But anyways, doesn't really matter. He comes down. He does have Raid and does have Restore. So basically, Boba effect is going to trigger. We're going to target the Bail Organa to give it the plus the additional power from the effect. Anyways, we're going to swing in. We're going to kill the Dark Trooper again. You do get a +1 there. Then we're going to take back 3 damage. We're then going to discard 1 card from our hand. That is going to give us a spy token. Again, discard 1 card from your hand, gain a spy. So the Bail Organa was able to go through the Dark Trooper there, thanks to, of course, the Boba effect. If it hadn't been buffed up by the Boba, then the Dark Trooper would have gotten an experience token for on the kill. But anyways, the other unit is a Raid 1, and then no, it's a Raid 2. It's a Raid 2, and then it has Restore 2. So basically, we're then do 2 damage to that, and then we're just going to pass nothing else we can really do. Again, Bail Organa is very an interesting card. I know a lot of decks are playing around with him to discard your stuff, and then you get spy tokens. I'm not so sure, and I like, that you have to discard 1 card out of your hand to get a spy token, but I guess I'm not going to do anything like that. Anyways, we're going to go for a figure of unity. As long as that unit is as long as that unit is unique, you can only attach it to a unique unit, and while that unit is standing, all your other units get Raid 1 and Restore. So it's a really cool card. Right now, it's really been played around in like Unity Rex, where you would do that unit figure in Unity alongside Unity and Purpose. So that you could do a whole bunch of things. Randy was going to go for a TIE Advance to give the Snow Trooper 2 more experience tokens onto it. So anyways, we're going to swing 2 damage at the base of the spy. Again, we restore 1 thanks to thanks to our one guy standing there. And again, as long as he's standing, you do get all the effects of that. So anyways, again, the spy deals 3 damage back because it gets the additional raid. So anyways, we're then going to do 4 damage with the Snow Trooper. Then we're going to be able to restore 1 with Bail. And then, of course, we did take 3 damage back for the Bail Got him. We're going to pitch another card to create another spy token. Because again, as a reminder, you do get, again, we have Figure Unity active. So anyways, then we're going to swing in with the that guy for that's just swamped my name, and I should know it because it was played in Sabine for a whole lot. I remember that 100% being played a whole lot in Sabine, and so for some reason it's now slipped my mind, and I apologize for that. I know a lot of these cards because I played them so religiously in so many different strategies. Like I know that card I've been playing it in Sabine. I know it's a Mandalorian. That's 100%. Then we're going to have to figure out what we were going to do here. The Boba leader is starting to get a little out of hand, especially now that they have that Figure Unity. We're going to go for the OB. OB are going to, I guess, target the Snow Trooper here. So then we're going to be able to, so that is at 5 there. So, no, it's going to be at 7, sorry. So Bail Organa, and then we're going to kill off both spies, and we're going to be able to do the remaining one remaining damage point to our last guy standing. So again, I forgot he's a 1/5 and then gets a +2 off a figure. So lethal there, as well as since he's got the raid, he's also getting additional attack. So anyways, we're going to swing in. We're then going to be able to heal off the damage there. Again, the unit does not get Figure of Unity's buff, so it does not get the additional restore and does not get the additional raid because technically it no longer is standing. It's all other units besides it. So anyways, we're going to then swing the Snow Trooper. We're going to go and kill off that unit so we don't have to worry about the Figure of Unity effect anymore. Again, the Snow Trooper technically does survive the battle because of the +2/+2. No, it takes 3. It actually survives normally because of the, it gets the additional attack from the raid. The unit got the additional attack from the raid. So anyways, we're going to swing in 3 damage from, of course, the TIE advance there in space. And it looks like the Boba player had nothing to really do that turn. Again, the problem is when you have Bail Organa pitching most of your cards out of your hand, you don't really have much of a hand control status that you can really utilize much of. So anyways, the OP is gone, so that does mean that the Snow Trooper no longer getting the +2/+2 buff. Not that it really mattered off that +2/+2 buff of surviving, say, the attack with the unit there that had Figure Unity under it, because again, it only swung back for 3 damage. It was naturally already a 4/6. So it survived perfectly fine. So anyways, we're going to pay some resources on the Boba side of the player, and we're going to go throw down a Blue Squadron. So the big question is, are we throwing down a Blue Squadron? It looks like not. So anyways, it looks like they weren't going to throw down the Blue Squadron. Anyways, we're going to go for the Queen Amidala down here as well. Man, everyone's got a Queen Amidala. Everyone's got the normal queens, baby. Those almost $25 normal queens, man. So anyways, 2 spies coming down once again. If you've never seen the Queen Amidala, anytime Queen Amidala takes damage, you can push it to any unit that shares her traits, Naboo and Official. So basically, you could just go murk that. So basically, the only way to kill her off is you have to give her negatives to her power or to her defense, or you have to kill off both spies, and then you can go kill the Queen. So she does not have any keywords on her. So again, the Boba can't tap itself to give anything an additional plus to its attack here because again, it does not have a keyword. So we'll kind of figure out what we want to do here on the Tarkin side of the board. Again, Tarkin can flip. They should now be at the 6th threshold. I believe, yes, they are at the 6th threshold. So Tarkin can flip here. They also could pay Tarkin to give an experience token to the Snow Trooper there, and then immediately be able to then swing Tarkin, give another experience token to it as well. So really kind of matters on what they really want to do here with anything. So anyways, we're going to go for another TIE advance here, paying up 4 here so that we can give another 2 experience tokens to the Snow Trooper, immediately buffing it up massive. And then we're going to bring out the Boba. Good old Boba, man. The Boba show that killed Boba Fett. Anyways, we're going to pay another 2 here. We're going to go for the Hot Lieutenant here, allowing the Snow Trooper to immediately attack and then swinging in for killing, then taking 4 damage. Unfortunately, with a +5, it is now at 8, so there's really no way for anything to do that. So looks like we're going to deal back the 3. Looks like we're kind of deciding what we want to do here. They're going to go flip the Tarkin. Tarkin, member, is a 2/7. We could kill off one of the spies here so that we can go after the Queen, so the Queen also just can't like kill something for free. And it was Tarkin attack. We're going to give it a +1/+1 experience to the TIE advance. Very interesting decision to go there. I mean, yeah, killing off the Boba is pretty nice because that does mean you don't have to worry about the leader being on the board state at all. We do see a Plo Koon there that is pretty dangerous. That is a raid 6 that can swing at something on the board state. Again, most of the time it will kill most things on this board state, but nonetheless, interesting little aspect of here. Again, they haven't really played, the Boba side really hasn't gotten much keywords out, which again is very important that you get out in this deck. So anyways, we're going to finally kill that a trooper off of the board there. We're using a spy to do it. All of that, so basically removing that from the board so we don't have to worry about that big unit that's been buffed up by 2 TIE Advance and one buff from the Tarkin as well. So anyways, we're going to swing in. I would think you just need to kill off that other spy just so that the queen doesn't get a free swing in off of herself. That, in my opinion, is just very important. Anyways, then we're going to go for the, then we're going to go for, of course, the effect of Plo Koon. Plo Koon is going to then swing in. We're going to take back 2 damage, and then, of course, giving the additional plus on the Plo Koon there so that we can knock out Tarkin in one shot. Again, thanks to the Boba trigger. So anyways, we're going to go for a Daring Raid, killing off the spy. Again, it really does suck, but again, they didn't know, the Tarkin player didn't know they had Plo Koon in hand, but if you had actually swung at the spy with the Tarkin, then you could have actually killed the spies. We're going to go for the Vader in space. That's a really good equip there, getting +3/+3 to a unit, and then on attack, you may deal 1 damage to a unit. Then if you killed that unit, you may deal an additional damage to a unit as well. So basically, we're going to swing at the base with a whole lot of damage, and then we can ping 1 damage to 1 unit. We won't kill anything here, so we won't be able to get the additional ping. Anyways, we're going to swing another 3 damage at the base, and then we're going to be able to swing another 3 damage at the base with the Hoth Lieutenant. The Hoth Lieutenant, because there's not much we could do with it. Or we could swing to kill the Plo Koon here, just so that we don't have to worry about them getting another body on the additional board on the board there to basically threaten to have that raid 3 active. Because again, you need coordinate. Coordinate needs to be active. Again, coordinate means you need 3 or more different units, including itself, on the board state. So I'm going to figure out exactly what we want to do here. There is something interesting in this deck that this person is doing, is that I believe that is the Tarkin there from Secrets of Power that allows you to, if your opponent targets 1 unit there, as we see a scoop up from the Boba player over to the Tarkin player. But Grand Admiral Thrawn is in their deck, where they can then drop it, and then your opponent either choose a unit, either you let them capture that unit, or if you don't, they then get to restand. Blech, words are sometimes hard. So a lot of times, if you don't want the big Thrawn to punch you in the face, you have to give up your unit. And in that case, they would have dropped it, grabbed the TIE Advance that had the Vader attached to it, put that under themselves, and then probably would have targeted that one, and then knowing that then you could have potentially won from there. But I think it would have still been kind of tough, even with the 9 damage. It would have been close, because I think that Thrawn is like a 9 punching Thrawn, so it would have nearly killed you there if you had let it stand. So nonetheless, it doesn't really matter. The Boba player has conceded game 1 to Tarkin, so now we move into game number 2. All right, folks, we are in game number 2. Both our players are finishing up their resourcing for the turn. We're going to pay 2 on the Boba side, and we're going to go for, Friends. I forget the card, but it's, but anyways, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and then you draw one of them. But anyways, it's Friends. I forget what it is. So you draw one of them, and so then you can reveal the up to 3 yellows and 2 whites, and then you can create 2 spy tokens with it. So anyways, that's a card that's actually kind of fun in certain strategies. Anyways, we're going to go for a TIE Bomber in space on the Tarkin side, and then we're just going to pass from there with Boba taking the initiative there. So anyways, that Friends card I think is actually pretty fun if it works in certain strategies. If you get enough yellow and being able to pitch down your first turn to search top 3, grab another yellow card, and then being able to pay the cost is really nice there. Or pay the disclosure is real nice. Anyways, we're going to go for the phase 3 Dark Trooper. We're going to go for our good friend, our heal friend there. Anyways, then we're going to go send the TIE Bomber and immediately be able to do 3 indirect damage wherever we want to. So anyways, 2 spies took 1 indirect damage each, and then 1 indirect damage onto the base there. And again, thanks to the Boba effect, we are able to give an additional power to the spy so that we can kill over the Dark Trooper. Because otherwise, the spy would have died to the Dark Trooper would have gotten an experience token. Because that phase 3 Dark Trooper from Shadows of the Galaxy states on it, when this unit survives battle, basically you can give it an experience token. So basically you can get pretty out of hand pretty quick if you don't actually deal with it. So again, it looks to be very interesting to see how the Boba player is going. Right now, the board on the ground is theirs because all Tarkin's got is a TIE Bomber that can only do 3 indirect damage to a base once to. So anyways, we're going to just do 2 indirect damage to the base, 1 indirect damage to our Mandalorian friend there, and then he's going to swing healing 2 here, and then, of course, dealing back 3 damage, because, again, he has rate 2 on him. And then we're going to be able to go open fire, immediately murking that one thing off the board, so that's pretty nice there. And then we're immediately going to go for so that's the Phoenix Squadron A-Wing in the sky there to allow it to come on down. Of course, it's a 3-2 body. So anyways, we're going to have to figure out what we want to do on the Tarkin side. It looks like they're trying to decide it. Yep, they are going to finally go for the Death Star Stormtrooper here. Then we're going to see a pay 1, and we're going to go for a Bail Organa, remainder of the 2 resources to put down Bail Organa. And then we're going to see the spy kill off the Stormtrooper. We should have the initiative now on the Tarkin side of the board. Ooh, a Cad Bane. Interesting. So the Boba players are playing a few out of aspect cards in the villainy. We barely saw it in game number 1 with Grand Admiral Thrawn unit, and we barely kind of saw it with the there with the Cad Bane. I'm not. All right, it gets forgot. The Hoth Lieutenant gives a +2 onto an Imperial unit to attack. So basically, the TIE Bomber was able to go and kill the Phoenix Squadron A-Wing there and then murk it off. So it looks like we're going to go for the Mina Bomber, the Mina off of the off there, and then the Boba trigger to give good old Bail additional AP. Additional attack here, and then we're going to go for the TIE Bomber in space there. Again, a really good thing with the Lieutenant being able to kill off that TIE Bomber. We're going to pitch 1 card and create a spy token from the Bail Organa. So then we're going to use our last energy to tap Tarkin to give an experience token to one of these TIE Bombers. So the TIE Bomber that is not damaged. So yeah, the Hoth Lieutenant being able to give the +2 to that TIE Bomber, allowing it to swing and kill over the Phoenix Squadron Ace is real nice. Anyways, we are at the threshold of the 6-4, of course, Tarkin here. Anyways, Tarkin is going to then kill off Bail Organa, taking back 2 damage here. And then, 3 damage, because again, until the end of the phase, the Boba plus is there, and then going to give the damaged TIE Bomber another additional +1/+1. I would have probably maybe thought of giving it to the bomber that wasn't damaged, as we see the Light Maker now in their hand. Ooh, the good old Light Maker. That's a fun little ship in the sky. A Raid 4 that, when defeated, can rest an entire entire field, so you can rest either the ground or space. Really nice, really cool card. So anyways, both sides, of course, have a resourced here. Oh, sorry, Tarkin's not a 6, Tarkin's a 5. Apologies. For some reason, I thought he's a 6. I think Bulba's a 6, Tarkin's the 5. So yeah, so Tarkin got out there on turn 5, because now I realize they're both on their turn 6 plays here. So it's going to be very interesting. So we're going to flip the Boba here. Again, if you play a keyword guy down, or you have a keyword guy with a keyword down, you can then give an additional attack to one of your units on attack. So we'll have to kind of figure out what we want to do here So anyways, we're going to go for a plot. We're going to go for the Talia. Talia is really nice here, because then all your stuff comes in with the hidden keyword, which is really, really, really cool here. So again, really nice. So anyways, we got the Boba trigger, Boba shadow triggering as well, because we did play out a person with a keyword. She gives out, plot is a keyword. No, plot is not a keyword, but she does have a keyword of hidden on her. So it's pretty nice. Anyways, we're going to go for a TIE Advance coming down in the sky. We're going to give a +2 experience token to something. I would not suppose we're going to give it to we're going to give it to Tarkin. Okay, make Tarkin a little more punchy in the face there. A little more survivability as well, meaning that the Boba can't just one-shot Tarkin. So anyways, we're going to go for Bamboozle. Bamboozle is going to be able to remove the experience tokens back to the hand and then rest the unit. So we're going to remove the experience tokens and rest the Tarkin there, which is pretty nice there. You can pay. Bamboozle also has a neat effect where you can pitch out a cunning card and you don't have to pay the cost. So anyways, we're going to swing in a TIE Bomber for 1 damage and then 3 indirect damage of our opponent's choice. So anyways, it looks like they're going to take all 3 indirect damage to the base there off of that TIE Bomber. So anyways, we're going to have the Mina swing in for 2, restore 1. And then we're going to swing the other TIE Bomber, 1 damage, and then 3 indirect damage coming in. So all 3 onto the Mina. And then we're going to go for the Boba, swinging in for 4 damage there. As well. I don't know if he actually gets his additional plus, and then we're going to swing in for another 3 from the spy. Again, all of that thanks to the Boba, since we did play a unit with a keyword on the board state. I thought he was on attack, but no, he's on attack is whenever you play a unit with a keyword, give everyone additional +1 attack. So it's pretty nice little effect there. So pretty cool. So again, also Talia is pretty dangerous here because of the fact that all your stuff has hidden now. So anyways, we're going to swing over the Mina, taking back 2 damage, putting 5 now on the Tarkin, and then Tarkin is going to be able to play something. I don't know why Tarkin took 3 damage there. I think Boba, I believe, had to play a keyword that turn. Anyways, we're going to go for the first light in the glare there. Again, that is the Raid 4 guy that on death, you can you can choose one of your opponent's 2 battlefields and arrest all the units there. So anyways, again, Tarkin did kill off the Mina there. No show for the Mina draw, and then gave the experience token to the TIE Advance. So TIE Advance is going to then swing thanks to the additional +2 off the Hoth Lieutenant there, which is pretty nice, giving it a really good swing there. Anyway, we're going to go for, sorry, that wasn't Cad Bane, that's Boba Fett's armor. I think the only out-of-aspect card they were playing was Thrawn. So anyways, another additional, going for the Outland TIE Vanguard, giving the additional +1 to the TIE Bomber here, getting that TIE Bomber a little more powerful. So now TIE Bombers hit for 2 damage and 3 indirect. How hilarious. So anyways, they're taking all the damage on the base. The Spy swinging at the opponent's base here, swinging in for that 3 damage. I believe as long as there's a guy with a keyword on the board, I believe then Boba always has the trigger active. Anyways, then we're going to swing another 4 damage off of this. So 1 damage off of the bomber, and 1, of course, 3 indirect damage. So all that damage goes to the board base. So anyways, it looks like we have a scoop up there from the Tarkin Red side, as they are unable to deal with the Light Maker nor deal with the ground presence down there. So that does mean that Boba Shadow Yellow got game number 2, which means we have that all-important game number 3. All right, folks, welcome to that all-important game number 3. Here we go. Both sides have finished up their resourcing. We're going to start with the Tarkin player, bringing out a Death Star Stormtrooper. We're going to go for, again, a Friends card. Look at the top 3. You can draw one of those cards to your hand, and you can reveal. Then you can reveal up to, again, triple yellow, 2 heroic, and then be able to make 2 spy tokens. Unfortunately, no, not this time. So, unfortunate that is the way it has to be. You didn't get off the spies here. So anyways, we're going to go for the Tarkin effect to give an additional +1 to the Stormtrooper. Then the boat player is going to claim the initiative here, and then basically figure out what they want to do next. Again, we'll have to kind of see what happens here, because it feels like the way the Tarkin player lost is that they lost out on the ground. Even though they were buffing up their units with Tarkin's effect, it's just the ground got out of hand. So anyways, we're going to bring out, again, man, all 3 games we've seen that man there. I wish I remembered his name. But the Mandalorian that gives has Ray 2 and Restore 1. So anyways, we're going to hit it with a Daring Raid for 2 damage onto it, paying, of course, 1 to do that as well. So we'll have to kind of figure out what we want to do now. Do we sacrifice the Death Star Stormtrooper to it? Do we have any way to kill it without sacrificing a Death Star Stormtrooper? We're going to put out a TIE Fighter. We're just going to sacrifice the Death Star Stormtrooper to it. But then we're going to go pay the last resource here to give Tarkin to get a +1 to the TIE Fighter. Ooh, Bright Hope's in the hand there. That's a good counteract to that TIE Fighter. Just protect yourself in space there, as we're going to resource what looked to be a TIE Bomber. Anyways, we're going to go for Bright Hope. It's a Bright Hope today. Or no, I guess we're... okay, so yep, we are going to go for good old Bright Hope. Again, nothing that we can spin on from the ground there to draw us 1 here, but still, that's a nice Sentinel. That's a 2/6 Sentinel in the sky, which is pretty nasty. Anyways, we're going to go for the TIE Fighter. And then we're going to be able to then put out the one, the only, the Darth Vader under the TIE Fighter. And that's pretty much going to be able to give us a big buff there as well. So TIE Fighter is going to be able to kill the Bright Hope here and take back 2 damage from a Bright Hope here, and then be able to knock it out. Again, the Vader pilot effect won't matter because there's nothing for Vader to ping at all onto the board state here. So far, it looks to be right now in the favor of Tarkin, because they have been able to get the ground under full control right now, or keep our opponent's bodies under full control. We're just going to swing in for the blue leader, swing in, dealing the 3 damage to it. So that's going to put it up to 5/6 because of the +1. So unfortunately, it's going to be just enough to kill it off there with the +3 because of the 2 existing damage existing onto it. Anyways, we're going to go for a TIE Advance to give a +2 to experience tokens to the TIE Fighter. Then we're going to bring out the good old Tarkin to then give an experience token to the TIE Fighter, then swing in the TIE Fighter. I wish that if they had 1 more experience token one more energy active, they could have gone Tarkin's effect first, give an experience token to the TIE Fighter, and then awaken Tarkin, and then go swing Tarkin. Then you could have given another +2 experience tokens to the TIE Fighter, because they were at 5, and the only thing they played there was the TIE Advance. So they would have actually had 1 additional resource. They could have actually done that whole combo line with it. As a reminder, even though your leader is arrested when you can awaken, you can actually rest out your leader, do their front side effect, and then flip them over and do their back side effect. They can do both. We're going to send out another Bright Hope. It's always bright hoping out here, folks. Real bright, real hoping. So anyways, remember, again, it is a 2/6 to cut through, so it can kill most things on this board state right now. It can't kill the TIE Fighter that's bumped up. But anyways, we're going to go for Tarkin to give him an experience token to the TIE Advance here, just so the TIE Advance can't survive against the Bright Hope. Anyways, then we're going to flip the Boba. We do have the keyword as a reminder now. We do have the keyword Sentinel on the 4. So that is giving an additional +1 to the Bright Hope. Bright Hope is now swinging for 3 damage, because again, it is a Sentinel. We're just going to throw some cards around. We're going to, I guess, maybe not use the Fleet Lieutenant. We're going to go for the Dark Trooper. All right, so we could just survive on the attack there from the Boba Fett, not melee marking, attempting not to melee kill off Tarkin here. So anyways, we're going to swing in for the for damage there onto the onto, of course, the Dark Trooper there, and then we're going to be able to swing and kill the Bright Hope there, taking back the 3 damage. Again, the Hoth guy giving the additional plus, and then swinging in the TIE Advanced. Again, Tarkin, member, as a reminder, had already swung that turn earlier. So anyways, then we're going to draw, of course, another 2 here. And again, the one way to win against the... Oh, wow, they are playing CAD. So I was right on, they did have a CAD. I guess they must have put the CAD in from game 2 into their resources, and then they put out Boba's armor. So it's going to be very interesting exactly what they want to do here, because again, they do not have a guy with a keyword out right now. And remember, Cad Bane is a 9-costed unit because of the fact you have the ability tag right now. And unfortunately, with the ability tag, you can't do much with that. You'll have to pay the penalty for it. So kind of interesting what they'll have to do, because Cad is already naturally a 7-costed unit to come out and then capture guys, which here would be pretty nice overall. So anyways, we're going to then go for what looks to be a another Bright Hope. It's back, everyone. Bright Hope. OB is just going to power up that little TIE Fighter that could, and then we're going to smash into the Bright Hope. And then it looks like a concession from the Boba Shadow Yellow player, which probably is right, because I think things got a little out of hand where there wasn't really much you could do about it. But I'm glad to see Tarkin Red take a win. As a little fun fact, Tarkin Red was my first ever deck I brought to Valkyrie's Vault. I started in the Twilight of the Republic era of the game, about midway through that set. And yeah, ever since then, I have not looked back on Star Wars Unlimited. A lot of fun in this game. But nonetheless, Tarkin Red gets the game, and it is quite fun to see a Tarkin Red strategy win when it was the first deck I brought to Valkyrie Vault. I forget what I placed with that Tarkin Red deck. I know I placed pretty high with it. I think I placed pretty good with it. And of course, after that, I started selling a bunch of stuff and was able to get a bunch of cards from, of course, Spark, Shadow, and Twilight of the legendary cards I was missing. And then, like I said, I haven't looked back on Star Wars Unlimited. Nonetheless, let me know down in the comments your thoughts on Boba, Shadow, Yellow, and Tarkin Red. Have you tried out either of these decks since they've been in Premiere? Tell me, what was your first deck you played in Star Wars Unlimited? And with that, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you know if my videos go live for you. And we'll see you next time on Mom Dragons TCG.